guys, welcome back to Resistance Chicks. I am one of your hosts, Michelle. Leah is going to be here presently. Happy New Year's Eve. I cannot believe that we have managed to make it an entire year with Resistance Chicks. I am so excited to be able to ring in the new year, this New Year's Eve, with you guys. So while we're waiting on Leah, Barry had sent me a clip by a great poet in the UK named Doreen Tipton. And I watched Mesmerize. I think it's like 8 minutes long. And we're going to lead in with this thing. And I hope that you guys find it as fascinating and spot on as I did. And I'm going to put in my headphones so that I can listen to it with you guys while we're waiting on Leah. So welcome this New Year's Eve. And we have a lot that we're going to cover today. I think you probably saw the title, Iran. There are protests going on there. I'm kind of hoping it's revolutionary, where people are just fed up. And we're also going to cover the fact that there are a lot of European countries, including Germany, that have decided they need extra security. I guess it's against the Germans. Probably not. It's probably against the Muslims this New Year's Eve, but we're going to get into that. So here we go. Let's get to Doreen and hear her. Watch ads twice. Once with me and once by yourself.
Well, here we am again. Here we yam again. Another year older, another year less clear about what we're all doing here. Another year less wise about the demise of the things we once took for granted. Things we all once loved, but now am despised. Another year that ordinary folk watched in awe as more and more shrill voices screeched their infected discontent, while ordinary folk just quietly went about their business and shook their heads and laughed as the old bloody world finally gone soft. While the bin men in Brum went on strike for a crumb and the council was poleaxed by gender back pay, sending social services into disarray, the BBC found a different way to share their vast inherited wealth, a newfound clarity on gender pay disparity. They said, never mind the law, we'll just pay our female stars far too much, and the blokes, they can have even more. Meanwhile, the Paradise Papers showed what we all really knowed, that rich folk like to save money just as much as the poor, probably more. So of course the politicians started to quarrel. Is it legal? Is it moral? So we get more rules, more laws, more loopholes and flaws, and the more complex the game gets day by day, the more that ordinary folk don't know how to play, or who to blame for such things, so the honest go homeless and liars and fraudsters can live like kings. And is it me? Or has everybody started foaming at the mouth? Is everybody's moral compass suddenly pointing due south? As the sneering, virtuous, liberal elite try to crucify the source of every non-PC tweet, and while social media seems to give everybody a voice, beware, in the background, the clever algorithms are silently taking away choice, controlling our posts, editing our views. No more can we trust what we read in the news, but there's still free speech if you say the right things, but not always for them that say things on the right. So don't ever be drunk in charge of a phone, 'cause sticks and stones may break somebody's bones, but nicknames will get you arrested, as common sense is once again tested. It's a strange new distortion when the soothsayers are locked away and the doers get off with a caution. But they'll never defeat the ordinary folk, 'cause in the end, my friend, the government are here to tell us what to do. In theory, we're here to tell them what to do. So never let them forget whose money they spend, whose interests and well-being they're supposed to defend. And what a choice, what a prize fight we have. In the blue corner, a Pisa Teresa, the pound shop Thatcher, who'll never quite match her, So she goes her own way, her own grey way. She may, or she may not. And in the red corner, we've got Communist Corbyn, with his hippie disciples like a pound-stretcher messiah, rising higher than anyone ever thought possible without a magic carpet or a magic money tree. His cast iron pledge is everything's free, and the ones who'll pay for it, well, they won't vote for me. And after all, he did win the election, there can be no doubt, because Diane Abbott was in charge of the count. Politicians, bless them, bless the old pigging lot. Them all here to serve us, in case they'd forgot, which they have. And remember the old MFI joke, one loose screw and the old cabinet falls apart? Well, that's just for starters, because nowadays the mere mention of a hand on a knee in 1983 can wipe out a government majority. So while Labour flogs its false socialist dreams, the Tories, it seems, are staggering round like them lost in the fog. Some see a beacon of light called Jacob Rees-Mogg. Others, they just see gloom and doom. A room full of politicians desperately squirming and confirming lots of ways to phrase their intention not to do what we asked them to do, which is leave the EU. Deliberately frustrating the people's will while bullying Barney waves his divorce bill. But is it a divorce? I don't remember a marriage. I don't remember any bridesmaids or carriage. I don't remember saying till death us do part. I don't remember taking any sacred vows. I only remember the endless rows and an invite to join a dysfunctional club which has since changed its rules. Ah, there's the rub. Meanwhile, over the Atlantic, folk was getting even more frantic as Mr. Trump stirred up a hornet's nest of vested interest. The Democrats wailed and mourned, and hell hath no fury, like a Clinton scorned. So here we am again. Here we yam again. Another year older, another year less wise. We'll remember the 5th of November, and the moment it's gone, the madness begins, the panic buying, the panto rehearsals, the endless montage of Christmas commercials. Am we really so impoverished? Am things really that bad that the highlight of our year is the John Lewis ad? Anticipation sky high, curiosity is fed, as a £7 million miniature movie reveals a monster farting under the bed. I think I'd rather have a discount instead. Every glossy ad screaming, look at me, I work for a creative ad agency. I'm PC compliant, green and clean, with sustainability, everlasting, and our masterpiece is a faultless example of tick box diversity casting. So please buy our stuff. 15 ads in a row now. Enough is enough. So it's a confusing world for them set in their ways. We've got multiple genders and serial offenders, Hollywood rocked by sex scandal confessors, universities riddled with lefty professors and snowflake students who in the name of diversity at their university ban any faces who challenge their safe spaces. They close up the minds, close down debate, while the police tell us now who we can and call out. But you see, there's no need to legislate. There's really no need. For ordinary folk, we live by a different creed. A simple old saying that served us well. Live and let live. And if you can't do that, go to hell. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everybody.
So Leah comes in right at the end. I don't know about you guys, but
I watched it actually a couple times.
That went rather quickly for me because she is absolutely mesmerizing, and she hit on every kind of top thing that is happening in our society that is crumbling. But I love how she said that we won't be knocked down. And that's where we're at this New Year's Eve. And that's what I want you guys to focus on, because while we can see the darkness of what has happened, like she said, that Trump has come in and stirred up a hornet's nest. And Trump is by no means, I think you guys started it with the Brexit in the UK. And we're seeing it all over Europe, all over the world. There is an uprising that is happening. And so that's what I want us to focus on this New Year's Eve. And it almost leads right into Iran.
Oh, your hair is...
Which
I'm sorry,
I put it in...
I can't do anything but look at that hair.
We went to our dear friends last night to celebrate Christmas with her. And she gave me a set of curlers and I had to sleep in. And I had my hair in French braids. So I just kind of moved the French braids up and curled the bottom. And so then, of course, I had nothing else to do but just to kind of just shove it all to the front.
It's beautiful.
But anyway, in Iran, if you have your hair in curlers and you think your hair is beautiful...
Good segue! Imagine covering up that hair.
You would have to wear a burqa. And
in Iran, you don't have to wear a burqa.
You have to wear the headscarf. No showing any hair.
I love how they do make a distinction between that whenever anybody says, no, Westerners say the burqa and the headscarf, and then everybody in the Muslim world is like, it's not the burqa, it's just a headscarf.
Whatever the name is, you gotta cover yourself.
Like, we didn't handcuff your feet, just your hands together.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so, all right. First reaction in my head was, oh my gosh, is this CIA again, right? First reaction. And then I started to see other reactions on Twitter and Facebook and the internet.
Judge the mainstream media.
So I follow this girl, a partisan girl, Syrian girl, and she is really good on exposing what's going on in Syria. However, she's not so good about what's going on with Israel and what's going on right now with Iran. And so she tweeted out something, and I said, listen, Iran is on the CIA list, okay?
Yeah.
But the CIA guys are sitting saying, what the heck? These aren't our guys. This isn't our thing.
It's a natural uprising.
This is not what we had planned. So hold on, stop, rewind. Let's get our people in place, right? Because it's not in the front page of the newspaper. It would be. It would be if this was CIA.
Pause. Is today Fat Boy's birthday for real? Is this like the official day for Fat Boy to have a birthday? Maia has just wished her brother a happy birthday, and I need to know. You should have texted me.
What's his first name? I cannot.
It can't just be Fat Boy. It's because I know your name. I know all of your names. I'm just trying to remember which one it is. Which biblical awesome name it is. Jack says, "Oh, cake." I wish we could give you guys cake. Like just. Oh,
New Year's baby.
How old is Fat Boy?
New Year's
today,
baby.
By the way,
I love it.
New Year's Eve baby. That is fantastic.
Mama couldn't hold on. Be New Year's Day.
No, because then he gets kind of to be, it's more special, I think, at the very tail end.
Well, happy birthday. When we get exactly what your name is, I will say happy
Which
birthday.
one? Hananiah, 16.
Hananiah. Happy birthday, Hananiah.
Oh.
He's driving. Uh-oh.
Oh, watch out, people. I was watching some of his brother, Say Perfect. I was watching some of his videos, and I think that Hananiah is in some of the videos, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm telling you, you guys have to go subscribe to that channel because they are hilarious. All right.
Okay, so there's a lot to just to kind of give you an overview of what's going on in Iran. It's a good thing we're getting anything out of it because certain parts of Iranian government shut down parts of the internet.
Shut it down.
Like I said, you're not seeing it on CNN. You're seeing fake news on CNN. You're seeing somehow they're trying to turn the protests into anti-Trump protests.
Sure.
I mean, pro-government protests.
Oh, of course.
And so
we want our government to stay.
Right.
We're protesting that way.
So I go to my favorite Iranian. I do have a favorite. Actually, I have two favorite Iranians. I actually met a woman from Iran at the Red Pill.
She was fantastic.
She's my first
She was
favorite.
going to go and start a farm, pretty much a homestead in Iran, and she was living in the United States. She didn't have to go, but she said the control that is there, while very bad, you don't have property taxes, you don't have regulations for how you can build and what you can do. And so
Right.
they're in that, while she may not have as much freedom as a woman,
Right.
as a person wanting to do the things that we would all want to do here in America, she has more freedom.
Right. All right, so my second favorite Iranian is Iman Tawhidi. I always want to put an L in his name.
But you also say Iman.
Iman.
It's Imam.
Imam.
You every time you
I
say
like
Iman,
Iman.
because I think you want to say Iman. What's up,
I
Iman?
like Iman better.
It's Imama.
All right, so he has been talking about and tweeting out about the Iranian protests. So I'm going to give you a couple snippets into what he's saying. Okay, so he's tweeting out to a politician in Canada, and he's saying, you really don't know what's going on in Iran at all, okay? And so he says, you clearly have absolutely no idea how theocracies work. Elections belong to democracies, not theocracies, that believe the leader is appointed by God.
Yeah.
The Iranians are chanting death to Khamenei, and you're saying he is an elected government. How exactly? Khamenei's, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, position is not a recognized position in the world of politics. What is supreme Islamic leader? It means nothing. The highest position in Iran is the president. The UN deals with the president. We don't deal with a man the president believes is appointed by God. The elections in Iran only exist because of the two so-called Republic of Iran elections and have no meaning in Iran. Did you forget how candidates such as Mir Hussein Masavi end up in prison for running for president? The law is a president must be appointed by the Wahali Faki. Sorry. You
guys should have heard us trying to learn Polish
Lord
yesterday.
Jesus in heaven,
was so
thank you
sad.
for
You know
giving me
what?
the ability to pronounce words.
You know what? We're going to butcher that at the end, remember?
Yeah.
We're going to try.
Yeah, we tried to learn Polish yesterday. You can't sound them out, by the way. No sounding out Polish. This man is on the government board and a prominent Islamic authority. Ayatollah Misbah Yazdi, he says, if a president is elected by the people, he is a tyrant and must be elected by God's representative. And this guy right here says, hey, we don't want elections in Iran. So he says, you're nothing but a mouthpiece for the Iranian government. So what's going on? Here's a few pictures of what's going on. I want to show you, number one, if I can, I'm going to get to the one where there's a woman who, it started out, one of the first things we saw was a woman waving her white headscarf. Women in Iran. I've been following My Stealthy Freedom on Facebook and
Twitter.
On Twitter. It's an Iranian group of women who encourage Westerners to, when they come to Iran, to not wear the headscarf because Westerners aren't required.
Right.
And they have Wednesdays, Stealthy Wednesdays, where they wear white headscarves and then they try to go without them. And some of them do get arrested.
Wow.
They post their videos on Twitter and
Absolutely.
Facebook. But one woman was arrested for protesting, waving her headscarf around. And the way that My Stealthy Freedom tweeted out saying she's waving her headscarf, but it's not her headscarf. It belongs to the government.
Right.
It's an enforced garment, so it's not actually hers. You know what I mean?
I know
Did you
exactly
see
what
how
you're
I felt about that when she said, so let's see. The regime-controlling state sponsor of terror, Iran, has organized rallies to counter the largest anti-establishment protest since 2009, prompting clashes between demonstrators and the regime's security forces, who have reportedly already killed at least 2 protesters. And so you have people outside.
It's a big deal when it comes to having to kill the protesters.
Exactly. So I want to show you a few of these videos that are going on here. And I don't think we have some volume down to the button. Volume. Now, I want you to remember, prior to 1979, Iran was a place where people could go and travel and vacation.
Beautiful.
It was girls were wearing bikinis. It was very westernized.
Right.
So yes, the CIA did bring in these Islamic powers in both Saudi Arabia and Iran. because naturally people will tend to lean towards democracy.
Right.
And the people will tend to lean towards freedoms. And then you actually have to be forced into not having said freedoms. Now, I do want to point out that in Egypt, there was an Arab Spring. It didn't turn out so well, okay?
Yeah.
Because even more hardline leaders took power.
Right.
But what I see coming out of Iran are both men and women who want freedoms.
Right.
I see husbands and brothers and fathers when
Right.
it comes to women's rights.
Well, I want to...
In these videos, I see it. It's you can see where people's souls are,
Right.
where people's hearts are.
Right.
I have heard that the Iranian people. Now we have to differentiate between Muslims. We have to differentiate between cultures. Afghanistan. We do know that, you know, with the Taliban being there and their bocce boys, and it's kind of like this disgusting, perverted area. Pakistan, but Iran. The people, from what I hear from other people who have traveled there and from what I hear from Iranians, they're kind, loving, caring people who are oppressed by a majority government.
And I wanted to point out, for those of you that may not understand, the difference between power and control under the theocracy that is the Islamic State that imposes Sharia law and such rules like that, and just plain old communism.
Right.
It's very different.
This woman was beaten during the protests.
Because these people, they're not there for handouts. They're literally just being controlled in their everyday lives.
Right.
The women can't travel. They can't drive, depending on which Islamic country you live in. You know what I'm saying? With the headscarves, whether it's the full burqa or what have you. It's not so much you can't work and earn your own wage and keep your own money. You know, it's not exactly the same thing as just flat out communism. So I wanted to let you guys know that there is a difference there.
Right. Brave lady's face was injured by the repressive forces of the Iranian protest government. These Iranian women, they are tough.
Yes.
They're still mad and angry about what was put on them in 1979. So my mom graduated from high school in 1978.
Yep.
The women in Iran were pretty much the same as what my mom was in 1978.
Right.
So Michelle and I were talking about it because a girl tweeted out a picture of her mother who looked almost identical like to my mom, and she said, this was my mom before and this is my mom after. And so it broke my heart to think of my mom in a black burqa with just her eyes being shown. And we have to see, we can help change the world when we see people as humans.
Right.
There are people who are not human, okay? There are people, when I talk about the Pakistani grooming gangs and the people who allow that to happen, both the men and the women, okay? That is non-human. But the Iranian people are human. I'm so glad to have met an Iranian, to hear from her what it's like in Iran.
She was at the Red Pill Expo of all places. I mean, talk about being completely awoke.
Exactly.
And knowing what the truth is.
Exactly.
And there she was.
So Donald Trump, he tweeted out a couple tweets about this. So I'm going to read some of his tweets. Many reports of peaceful protests by Iranian citizens fed up with regime's corruption and its squandering of the nation's wealth to fund terrorism abroad. Iranian government should respect their people's rights, including right to express themselves. The world is watching. I do not agree that Iran is the world's biggest sponsor of terrorism. But Iran does sponsor terrorism. They're not this great regime. Saudi Arabia sponsors terror. Qatar sponsors terror, and we sponsor terrorists. Okay, our government does, right?
Yes.
But wherever we see corruption and wherever we see people rising up, even if it's in Iran, in a Muslim country, then we back and support it. That's what we do. That's what humans do as human beings. So I love this tweet. Resounding silence from Jeremy Corbyn on the Iran protests. A reminder that he took 20,000 pounds from the Mullah regime to appear on state-owned press TV, a human rights campaigner in name only.
Correct.
That's a different one. So I'm gonna go ahead.
Chris Holman says, when I was a boy in the 80s, I had a friend whose family escaped in Iran in the 1979 revolution. They were pretty good people. The grandmother loved me and wouldn't stop feeding me.
Right. From what I do hear about the Iranian people, they're very giving, they're very open, they're very welcoming, and we have to not see all Arabs the same, all Muslims the same.
Right.
They're mostly what we see because unfortunately, Islam, we're Christians. Islam is not, Allah is not God. Okay?
So
Allah not God.
There is that.
So they don't have I'm not saying that Muslims can't be seeking God.
Right.
Okay? And a lot of Muslims seek God.
And they
do the
find
right thing.
Jesus Christ when they're really, really seeking.
So I want to be careful before I offend the whole world. But as a Christian, I believe that people need to find Jesus Christ and find God. But I do think that people can be talking to God in their own way. You know, that's very true. However, there's an emptiness there for most Muslims.
Right.
It's more of a going through the motions type thing. And so what happens is in different areas, you go through the motions differently in different cultures. And Iran has a pretty cool culture that is being totally repressed by their government. Okay, so I'm gonna get to a couple more of these. This is another My Stealthy Freedom woman, I believe. No, she just tweeted out My Stealthy. Okay, 40 years ago, women were free to feel the wind in their hair in Iran. Then Shia clerical dictators took over in 1979 and imposed gender apartheid. I like the way she put that, in Iran, inspiring Saudi to compete with Sunni extremism. Very interesting there.
Right.
Which led to White Wednesdays, Iranian protests, My Stealthy Freedom, hashtag I stand with her. So this is the woman who was standing up, and she has since been arrested.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. I get goosebumps.
These women are they're my heroes. They are my heroes.
We have women that think that they are fighting for women's rights here in the United States, and I'm sorry, they should all be given, I don't know.
You are my heroes. You are the true feminists.
I can't even say what comes to mind, but I am so disgusted by our feminists here in the United States. None of them are standing up with these women from My Stealthy Freedom. I have to tell you, if Ashley Judd or Madonna had gotten up on the Women's March and had spoken or even mentioned My Stealthy Freedom or the injustices that are happening to the
Muslim
women that
all
are
over the
forced
world.
to wear the hijab, I
Genital
would have
mutilation.
backed off. I never would have said another word. Even if they had continued with their other agendas.
Right.
I would have been like, all right, you know what? If you're going to fight for those freedoms, then you know what? You have your peace. You have your place. You can say what you want to say. But they don't, because they don't care about real women's rights.
Absolutely. So this is Potkin Azamir. Is his interview with Al Jazeera English says people in Iran don't want to be ruled by the clerics. How difficult is that for academics and appeasers and lefties and experts to understand? So I'm going to play this little clip here.
Imagine if this country was run by clerics interfering and running
It's not very loud, is it?
What sort of state would that be? So it's the same with the Iranian people. They don't want clerics all the chance. They're targeting at the clerics directly. They're saying that, you know, we're being reduced to beg. The clerics are living in palaces. They pined for the Iran before 1979. They're chanting in favor of the Reza Shah, the founder of the Pahlavi dynasty, the man who modernized Iran, the nemesis of the clerics. They're doing that in Qom, which is the holy city of Qom, the bedrock of Shiite theology, where the seminary schools are. They're chanting for Reza Shah, the man who curtailed the powers of the clerics so many years ago.
So they're not. So some people are saying in CNN the fake news, right?
Right.
Which it was funny. Sorry, I go on rabbit trails. Patriot Garland wanted to say the biggest story of 2017 is fake news, and fake news being outed.
Right.
And then I open up my fake news newspaper, and one of the lefties writes in there, the biggest story of 2017 is fake news.
No way.
But it's...
Oh, that's so funny.
It's
They're
like
thinking it from the opposite. Yeah. Well, you know what? That's what liars always do. They call out what they are doing because they can't keep it in, but then somehow they put it on you. It's the same saying, whatever somebody accuses you of is what they are guilty of.
Right. So this is anti-mullah activists of the Iran protests tear down a banner of the dreaded morality police.
Oh, wow.
They chant, "Don't be afraid, we are all together," and "Death to Khomeini."
Wow. That's incredible.
Don't be afraid, we are all together. Down with the morality police. And you know what? I gotta say,
It's not the same kind of morality police that I could probably get behind. You know, people going around just saying you shouldn't do that. You know.
they're saying stop with the killing of homosexuals.
Oh, about
And I
that.
gotta tell you, I get goosebumps because I am not. I'm not racist. When we unfortunately when we see an Asian person, I call them Asian now, or Arabs, we do see terrorists.
Right.
However, when I see these Arab men tearing down the signs of the morality piece saying don't,
Right.
and I put two and two together because I've seen so many videos of these men standing with their wives and
I
their,
know, it's
and
so
their,
heartwarming.
and their sisters, and
Yeah.
they put on the headscarf and stuff like that. This is what true masculinity would be. If Islam was supposed to be about protecting women, this is it.
Right.
This is chivalry.
Right.
This is manliness. This is what I can get behind. This is what
Yeah.
I love to see. Is there are good Arab men
Right.
who love their wives,
Right.
who love their sisters,
Right.
And you've got to be able to differentiate. You have to be able to see between white. It is black and white.
Yeah.
There is no gray area.
Right.
You either consider human beings as human,
Yeah.
or you dehumanize them.
And I hope that this alone, and I don't want to bring it back to us because it's not about us, but for people that may just think, you know, Leah and Michelle and Resistance Chicks are just so anti-Muslim and all they ever do is talk against Muslims and this, that, and the other. We don't lean to the right. We don't lean to the left. We lean on the word of God and common sense.
Right.
And common sense says that the terrorism and the Islamic State and the theocracies that they have in these Arab countries is bad. It
and
is
the
wrong,
honor
and
killings.
we have to speak out against those things.
I've seen so many videos where young men are saying, you
Right.
talk about honor. If you found your sister has had sex outside of marriage, what are you going to do? I'm going to kill her. These are regular looking Joes in jeans and sneakers saying
Right.
they're going to kill their sister.
And I'm not down with that. And so I'm going to speak out against it. But when I see these men rising up that are supposed to be of the same, you know,
then there's
people,
not as we haven't seen as many. I
Right.
believe there probably are more,
Right.
But they're held down, and so they're coming up here in Iran. So here's another one. Rumors from Iran reveal that police have refused orders to shoot the crowd of anti-government rally, while some government officials are fleeing the country with their wealth. This indicates the fall of Iranian Ayatollah regime may be. No Gaza, no Lebanon. Our lives are devoted to Iran.
And I think a lot of people must wonder, like, well, why don't they just leave? Try leaving. If you're a woman and you don't have any, you can't.
Khomeini and his regime are doomed and soon to collapse. That's some of these.
It's not that easy. And a lot of people don't want to leave their homeland. They want to live there in freedom.
Well, I think what they're literally saying is, I'm tired of fighting for Palestine and Lebanon. Let's just do Iran.
Exactly.
Which
It's
is
like
so
make
powerful.
Iran great again.
Right.
Yeah.
Khomeini, shame on you. Leave our country, Iran, and get lost. These are the kind of protests you can get behind.
And we've been waiting for something like this to happen. And I love that on our New Year's Eve program that this is what we get to cover, because it kind of culminates the entire year of Resistance Chicks, because it feels like no matter what we've been covering, Muslim terrorists and Islamic terrorists and
So
whatever.
exciting to see some good news come out of the Muslim Arab Islamic world.
Exactly. And it's an uprising where the people that are in the midst of it are saying, this is not what we want.
And it goes to show that most of the world who speaks out against Islamic terror are not racist, xenophobic. We're not afraid of anybody's culture. We're not afraid of race. We're not even afraid of Muslims or Islam. We're afraid of the way that people apply these things to not their lives necessarily, but to the lives of others.
Right.
Okay? If you want to do what you're going to do, like in your own little box, right? But unfortunately, Islam doesn't allow for that.
Right.
Right? Okay, so this is CNN fake news. Iranian people are trying to stand up to a totalitarian state while the American mainstream media is spreading Iranian government propaganda. All right? So here are CNN's headlines. Iranians hold pro-government rallies. Hashtag
Fake news.
lie news.
That's a blatant lie. That has nothing to do with why they're protesting.
Iran holds pro-government rallies after economic protests.
Okay, I have to tell you, like, I don't even want to live in America sometimes because this should not be allowed. The fact that I have loved ones that read this junk, that watch this on television and remain completely blissfully ignorant that they are being fed a pack full of the sky is purple lines and believing it.
Iranian women are standing up and pushing back against an oppressive regime. They want freedom and opportunity to let their hair blow in the wind.
Yeah.
Why are you not standing with them? Feminists, your silence is deafening. And so, you know, like, where's Chelsea Handler, right?
Where's Chelsea Clinton?
Actually, I have to tell you, Hillary Clinton actually tweeted out in support of Iran, so I don't know what's going on there. That one freaked me out. Okay, Mike Cernovich was like, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, Hillary Clinton. I mean it for saying.
I don't think I'll ever thank Hillary for anything.
Okay, so here's Donald Trump and VP Pence, all right? Many reports of peaceful protests by Iranian citizens fed up with the regime's corruption and its squandering of the nation's wealth to fund terrorism abroad. Iranian government should respect their people's rights, including right to express themselves. The world is watching. And then VP Pence. I love that we have a vice president that tweets out the president.
I know. This is what kind of world do we live in? This is insanity.
And
it's
actually,
great.
President Trump tweeted out, he said, I don't want to use Twitter, but I have to use Twitter to get around the mainstream media.
Right.
The media is so angry because they used to be able to
spin what the president was saying.
Chew our food, regurgitate it, and say, eat this.
Ew.
I'm eating my own food.
Eat my own food.
Give me my own sandwich. Okay, stop chewing. That's what the media does, is chew the information and spit it out to you, and then it's some sort of like baloney glob. All right, VP Pence, free sandwich here, your own meat here to eat. He says at POTUS, which I love that he is tweeting out to the president, which is just mind-bogglingly awesome, by the way. And I stand with peaceful protesters in Iran who are speaking out for freedom, and we condemn the arrests of innocents. The time has come for the regime in Tehran to end terrorist activities, corruption, and their disregard for human rights. Hashtag Iran protests. Now, again, I am not saying that I believe the line that Iran is the world's biggest sponsor of terrorism, okay? We see terror coming from, a lot of these terrorists are coming out of Somalia. They're coming out of, from former Russian Federation states, and they're coming from all over. And so not just out of Iran. All right, so here, this is interesting. A protester burns an Iranian flag. This is the version of the flag with the word Allah on it, which was added to the flag after the Islamic Revolution in 1979.
Oh my gosh. That's incredible.
So he's doing his thing.
Wow. And these are men. And that's what has me so excited about this. I know maybe some of you guys are like, this is our European show. Why are we covering this so much? You guys, this is a really, really big deal. What is happening in Iran? These people will not be silenced, and they are finally speaking out. This is huge.
These people are saying, well, because remember, Islamic terrorism and Islamic states affect the entire world, especially Europe.
Very true.
And it says crowds are growing bigger. The Khorramabad, Western Iran protesters chant, "We don't want an Islamic Republic. Down with the dictator."
Wow.
We don't want an Islamic state. So what you have, I believe, with the Iran, kind of fighting in Syria and our government fighting, you have the people. We're not fighting. It's our governments that are doing stupid stuff, right?
Right.
Okay. All right. So this Iranian protester is shot dead by the Islamic Guard. I'm not gonna play that one. This is protesters burned down an Al Khamenei banner. He is the highest political and religious leader in Iran. The fact that they have his banner all over the place is like it is like the communist regime. It's like Nazism and Stalinism.
Right.
And things like that. I'm going to play that where you can see that coming down again.
And they're cheering. And this is such a big deal.
Right. So here, this Iranian woman accomplished more in 5 minutes than Obama did in 8 years, where he appeased the Iranian, terrorist government there. Here, I want to play this again. This is in 1979.
Yesterday's demonstration
When
was the nearest
these are Iranian women in 1979. They look just like my mom and her friends.
In order to women to cover their heads in government offices. Many are furious. Only a minority in Tehran.
Only a minority were super Muslim.
But the issue has provided an escape valve for many of the men here who for days have been spoiling for trouble. Led by a few Islamic zealots, several hundred men eventually attacked the protesters. Several of the women who stood their ground with considerable courage were stabbed as they chanted slogans for equal rights.
They were stabbed.
Most of these men can be relied upon to have a gun at home, and if they can't persuade the women and other sectors who oppose extremist Islamic beliefs, then the danger is that they will bring their weapons out onto the street and that there will be bloodshed again.
They'll kill
Moments
them.
later, guns actually did appear. The order was eventually restored by a mullah who expressed no sympathy for the women's position. Ayatollah Khomeini is determined to see an Islamic State at all cost. Resistance to it is already growing. With no impartial policing, the split in the revolution is already open and threatens to become wider and more dangerous. Jon Snow, ITN, Tehran.
So what you do have the same bloodthirsty anger that you have with the Reds, with the commies.
Right.
And you have half the people who didn't want it. And you did have people who got behind it. You had evil, wicked men. So here's the girl I was talking about. She tweeted this out. This was her mom.
Beautiful.
This was her mom's friends. Look at that. Short shorts and everything. They're hanging out here. Just look like regular people, regular Americans with a tan.
I mean, I want you guys to just for 1 second imagine living in your country and all of a sudden, and it's not, the headscarf is what represents the oppression.
I will kill you. I will shoot you. I will stab you if you don't put something on your head.
You are now a second-class citizen.
Right.
Okay. When we spoke to the woman in Iran, she was. What did she
mom.
say about her birth? The women in their birth certificates.
There's no place for girl on the birth certificates because girls don't exist in Iran. Only boys.
You don't get that's not your kind of right. A birth certificate, we all kind of view that as our right to citizenship, of independence and our natural rights. But no, you don't have that in Iran if you are a woman.
Yes. So this is definitely we want to see this happen. Here's another. This is the Bashi were responsible for killing Need Agha Sultan during the 2009 protest. Iranian regime banned her family from holding a memorial.
Wow.
And has tried to rewrite history. They're chanting Bajiji get lost. The Baji are a much feared paramilitary arm of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard.
Wow.
Here's the girl with the
waving her.
They're chanting, "We don't want an Islamic Republic." These protests aren't small, and they're not just about economics, as CNN and New York Times claim. I'm tweeting from Rita Panidi. I believe that she is from India. For those in the West who back the Iranian government and or nuclear deal, you're strengthening a regime that subjugates women, locks up journalists, tortures and kills dissidents, and poses a death penalty for crimes such as homosexuality, blasphemy, and adultery.
How about that?
So I think this might be Iman Tawhidi. Maintain whatever dignity you have left and step down from presidency. You're a cleric whose job is selling Qurans and prayer mats, not running a government. Even your own family are protesting against you. The entire Iranian cabinet is unfit to rule. Animal Farm.
You even spell it Iman.
I know, don't I?
It's in your head that way. Maybe now it won't be. So interesting, not to change the subject, but I always like to throw these out there as a conspiracy theory. Hopefully one day I'm really wanting it to be true. But Lisa says, hello. The chatter is that Soros has been arrested and may be at Gitmo if you follow Tracy Beans and the CBTS on Reddit. Confirming something like that would be completely impossible, but we can always hope that it's true.
Okay, so I think we're going to move on now to our European coverage. I think we kind of, unless you want to give some comments.
Lisa says, and Trump's EO froze assets, so Soros may not be able to fund anything anymore. I posted the link on the last video to the CBTS on Reddit. Let's see. Sook says, if only we could get all the evil people that are pulling the strings together for a meeting on an island somewhere and turn it into a prison, kind of like To Catch a Predator style. I think that's fantastic. Let's see. Gary says, don't look at everything as a benefit for America. Look to it as a benefit for your fellow human beings. We are all God's children. So when we look at what is happening in Iran, and I do fear that Americans are kind of have tunnel vision a little bit. If it doesn't affect us, then somehow it's not worth talking about. And I think that Gary hit the nail on the head. I mean, this is a benefit for your fellow human being. What is happening in Iran, we have to get behind these protesters and these people because it's really, really important.
Well, speaking of getting behind our fellow human, this segues into the New Year's Eve festivities going on right now.
Yes, because most of you guys are, 5, 6, 7 hours ahead of us.
I think Australia's already there, right?
Are they? How many hours ahead are they?
I think they're there. I think they're in 2018.
Okay. They're in the future.
Yeah. So.
She hates it when I drink. I'm sorry.
It goes.
Because
it glugs.
It does.
It's got to stop glugging. Maybe if it had a different cup, not with the glug.
But I like that one.
I'm starting a new tradition. Today.
Oh my gosh. Otto says, hang on. First thing we do, let's kill all the lawyers, William Shakespeare. Don't kill them. They're not all bad. Just lots of them.
This is how Cologne celebrated New Year's Eve last year. This year they need 1,400 police officers for their culturally enriched party. I'm going to play this here.
Oh my gosh.
And a bunch of hooded Arab. Looks like a fun celebration there.
There's a party going on right there. It's the time of year for the police to celebrate.
Okay.
Celebrate terrorist attacks on women. Come on.
I wanted to show you this tweet while it's up from President Trump. I use social media not because I like to, but because it is the only way to fight a very dishonest and unfair press, now often referred to as fake news media. Phony and non-existent sources are being used more often than ever. Many stories and reports are pure fiction.
Right.
All right. So let us see. Where am I at? Actually, we're going to go over here to... Okay.
Backtracking. She missed a tweet.
Former Iranian escapee begs Merkel to stop allowing the Islamic State terrorists to destroy freedom in Iran and hunted her to be welcomed into Germany.
Oh, you turn that down so you can just read it out loud.
Terror will come to the people of Germany, the people who come here, who are let into the country. Uncontrolled by you will bring their wars from their home countries. And I'm going to have to make it smaller. And they will attack each other here in Germany as they do back home. And then she says on the 28th of July this year, again, an attack took place in Hamburg against innocent people. And again, the attacker yelled,
Allah
Akbar. God is great. Again, innocent people have died in the name of Allah. Just as millions of people have died for 1,400 years. 31 years ago, I fled from these people and came to Germany. Therefore, when I say that I see the predators on the street, this is a fact. It's not a joke. As a small child, I experienced the revolution in Iran. I experienced the war. I saw things on the streets that no child should see. And today, I'm a mother myself. Today, day by day, I fight against the fear that my daughter, that any of our children, may become witness of what I experienced, what happened in my childhood. 31 years ago, Germany offered me protection. I packed everything away and was of the opinion that it was all behind me. I built a new life for myself. And now the exact same thing creeps up on us here. In Germany, as what happened in Iran almost 40 years ago, the country is being Islamized. Our freedoms are being limited. Freedom of opinion doesn't exist anymore anyway. Freedom of speech, it's fake. All that's left of it is its name, and I cannot depend on our democracy anymore either. Of that too, all that is left is its name. I do not know the reason the German government has for destroying their own country and abandoning all regard and consideration for their own culture. We are constantly here, refugees welcome. But what about us? And
what about the ones that were there that escaped the oppression that these people coming into Germany will cause all over again?
That's why it's really important, unfortunately, to not let in any sort of economic migrants, but only people who are fleeing something for philosophical or religious or something that is life-threatening.
Right.
Because you are bound to bring in these people who are threatening those people.
Right.
You know, so bringing in young men, and just because, why?
Yeah.
Why? Economics? No, not good enough. Why? Because they come from places where in 1979, half the men were stabbing women in the streets.
Because they didn't want compulsory headscarves, and they didn't want to be treated as second-class citizens. Bill Burnett sent me an email, because that's the way that he leaves comments when we are going live, and said, in 1966, I was on an Air Force base where Iranian pilots were being trained, and they told me that the majority of the people there referred to themselves as Persians and did not like to be called Iranians. They were not fond of the hard-lined Islamists who were trying to gain power. Thank you very much for that, Bill.
Right, so Hamburg police to deploy mass camera network to prevent New Year's Eve sex attacks. Hamburg police will deploy a mix of fixed cameras, vehicle cameras, and officer body cameras to dissuade sexual assault and identify those who carry out attacks on New Year's Eve. See, here's a problem. When it's kind of like just like trying to eradicate bugs like around your home. Right? Like you put home defense around your home.
That's what we call it, home defense max. Except for we don't use it anymore because we keep these.
But the bugs are going to keep coming in.
Right.
And I got to tell you, if you need the cameras and you need video surveillance to stop somebody from doing something that they would normally do, you have issues. Those people want to do those things.
Right.
You have issues. You have problems within the mentality of your people.
Correct.
Okay? And you don't fix it by trying to deter people. See, I don't want to go steal things. Right? I don't want to hurt people. I don't want to murder people. Okay? Right. I should have all the freedoms that I want in the world. And you do need to be able to identify people who have bad intentions towards other people.
So I want to pause here for 1 second, because Britt Baza tells me that there is an arena in the UK that is on fire right now. So let me see if I can find a little bit more on it, and you can continue with that, but I wanted to acknowledge that right now.
So the CCTV cameras have been installed on major thoroughfares in Hamburg before the annual New Year's Eve celebrations, including the city's famous Reeperbahn Street. Police Commissioner Ralph Martin Maia commented on the new cameras, saying, "Video surveillance in these locations will help deter potential perpetrators from committing crimes." Why are potential criminals even there to begin with? That's your problem. Last year, Hamburg saw around 400 women and girls report that they had been sexually assaulted over New Year's Eve. The police were criticized for the fact that despite having a large presence, many attackers were never identified. So, And the police were forced to resort to looking through photographs taken by partygoers to help identify some of the suspects. But unfortunately, they all look the same. And that's what they don't want to tell people.
Right.
They all look the same. So they couldn't identify the perpetrators. It was an Asian-looking guy with dark hair and brown eyes.
That's how it always is. So hang on, let me interrupt here. All that I can find right now is it's at a car park near the arena. Smoke can be seen across the city as a fire which broke out inside a multi-story car park near the Liverpool Echo Arena continues to rage. Merseyside Fire and Rescue Service was called at 4:42 p.m. So it's been a little while since it's been going on, and crews were on the scene at 4:50 p.m. 6 fire engines are in attendance, and crews wearing breathing apparatuses are tackling the fire using
and what's
a
sad
52
is that
mil hose.
It could this be terror? It's like, is every fire a terror? We have fires all over America like every single day. You know, and we
Right.
don't normally say, oh, terror attack. But in England, now that's what you have to do.
Right.
You have to say, oh, terror attack.
Especially when it's near something as large as an arena.
That goes to show you what kind of culture that you're living in.
Right.
Right? All right. So, after the G20 riots in Hamburg earlier this year, police were able to use video camera technology to identify many of the rioters and bring them to court and likely hope to have the same kind of success. The same kind of success. They're gauging, like, catching the perpetrators
Right.
after they've done something as
Right.
success.
Yeah, we got him.
We didn't stop them, but we got them.
Right.
All right, and then you had massive numbers of sex attacks that occurred in Cologne on New Year's Eve in 2015, and police have had to substantially increase security in many major German cities. In Cologne itself, last year's festivities had far fewer incidences of violence and sex attacks, though the police were accused of racially profiling North American migrant men unfairly.
Yeah, there is that.
That's what's going to happen. I'm sorry. That's the world we live in. It's not all fair. Okay? Life isn't fair. When people told you
Buck
life
up,
would
Buttercup.
be fair, it ain't fair. I'm sorry. When the majority of people harming people look like you,
Sorry.
you're going to be profiled. I'm sorry. It's just a thing.
So if the majority of people all of a sudden looked like blonde Swedes and we were pulled aside, blonde female Swedes, and we were pulled aside, I'd be like, you know what? I get it. I get it. Other blonde Swedish girls have been committing acts of terrors and driving trucks through crowds of people, shouting, I don't know, Swedish something. Then I would be down. I'd be like, okay, I get it. It's set me to the side. I know I'm used to the routine. You know, whatever. You gotta go with it.
So in London, they will be overseen by rooftop SAS snipers. London's New Year's Eve celebrations will be overseen by rooftop snipers from Britain's elite special air service. According to reports, snipers have been positioned at key locations to ensure all routes leading to areas like
Trafalgar?
Thank you. Square are covered. They will be using armor-piercing ammunition and the world's most powerful sniper rifle. The newspaper names the firearm as the Barrett Light, designed to stop military equipment in the wake of any sort of attack. The British capital has suffered several attacks this year, starting with the 52-year-old we've heard Masood, and just several attacks. I'm sorry, we have to go through them all. So let's see. Then we had, and then in September, a number of people were burned or trampled when a Syrian refugee partially detonated a bucket bomb in an underground train at Parsons Green Tube Station. However, due to severe cutbacks and an increasing focus on channeling police resources into diversity projects and hate crime, like the two police officers that have been trailing Tommy Robinson.
Right.
Listen, you've got to be able to use common sense. Tommy Robinson is not a physical threat to anyone. In fact, he will deter threats.
But here's the thing, in all honesty.
But two officers following Tommy Robinson when 20 to 32,000 potential terrorists are in the country.
I don't have a problem with the police officers trailing Tommy. And here's why. Because he now is in a position where people will want to attack him. They will want to make a ruckus wherever
they're
he
just
goes.
protecting the young chap.
But, and that's the thing, they're blaming him. They're saying, we now have to follow you because wherever you go, you cause trouble. And it's like, actually, no, Tommy's not the one that's causing the trouble. It's the fact that you let all these people in to begin with. That is the problem. And so I don't like how they have shifted it, that it's all just Tommy's fault.
They're spending so much money. They've got their little Twitter and social media police making sure that you don't say anything nasty about those Muslims.
Exactly. You can't have that.
Right.
Literally, they'll come to your house if you post something on Facebook. I'm worried about some of our viewers that post things on Facebook because I know that Worth a Look has been silenced. I'm pretty sure that Britt Boz has been silenced on Facebook for just saying kind of different, whether it's gender or Muslims or whatever. Here in the United States, we don't have to fear that. But
it's the real crime.
They'll come and haul you off to jail. Now, speaking of some of our UK viewers,
how come
Sean,
they don't go around like people calling like people fat or ugly? Well, that's hateful.
Jail those people.
Why aren't they in jail?
Yeah, I don't like fat haters. Okay, so Sean is here. Tracy, his wife, is still in hospital. I can say it that way. We would say she's still in the hospital, but you guys say still in hospital.
Well, yeah, she had to go to the theater.
Yeah, the theater. That's the operating room. It was very strange the way you guys speak.
You got a movie and a bunch of actors.
But she was supposed to be able to come home today, and she didn't. So she's still in the hospital, bored and tired and sleepy, but doing well. And so hopefully she'll be home soon. So we want to say a little prayer for Tracy that she gets to come home very soon, and that 2018 is a wonderful one for her and Sean. So thank you guys for your prayers. We love Sean and Tracy. They're a wonderful contribution to our show. They sent a gift, and we were going to debut it today. We're going to do a mail call at the end of the show.
We want Tracy,
to be here live when we do so. So we're going to wait.
The National Health Service is too cheap to use Wi-Fi.
They ain't got Wi-Fi there, man.
It does not interfere with the equipment because every hospital in America has Wi-Fi.
For free. I mean, seriously, and she's in a ward with like more than 2 beds. When I was a kid, it was 2 beds to a room.
And they don't allow the using of
now
cell
it's
phones,
one bed.
which is absolutely ridiculous because everywhere in America, they all use cell phones. It's utterly preposterous. What is this third world country you live in?
So what says all these fat haters hate me? It's ridiculous. If you guys are not subscribed to So What too, please go and subscribe right now. He did a video congratulating us on our 10,000th subscribers.
Have they taken any away?
No, they haven't. We're still over 10,000. We're like at 10,014.
I think once you
I'm
get like
so
the
excited
number,
about this. Like maybe they'll stop censoring the subscribers at this point. I don't know. But this is very, very exciting to me. But he also made a video stating, and it was hilarious. Stating that Leah looks like Christina Applegate, and that video is, you guys just need to go and watch some of his videos. They are really, really, really fun.
That's funny.
I'm working on my German accent, but I have found that
all she can do is just
I have his introduction.
So what?
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. That's how he starts them all out. It's
so good. It's uncanny.
What? Is it just me? Look at her! Look at her! She looks just like her. I'm sorry. I love doing So What impersonations. I do them all the time.
He's like, not all Germans sound like me.
Not all Germans sound like So What. No, but you know what? I'm just going to stick. From now on, my German accent is going to be the So What accent. Hope you guys are okay with that.
I have an article you can read.
I should read it in the So What accent.
You will here. Okay, so Merkel does not have a government. Merkel ends her 2017 without a government.
Still laughing at the
Go
chat.
ahead. You can read
Jack
it.
says illegal. I'm sorry. Okay, wait, from right here?
Yeah.
If you really want me to do it, then So What? I don't know. I don't even know how. Okay. I can't.
It is unknown.
It is because sometimes he speaks regularly and then he gets shrill and excited.
The history of modern Germany, 3 months after the election, as the country still doesn't have a new government. How can it be that Merkel's CDU remains on the hunt for a coalition partner? That was a little bit like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It was a little bit.
Yeah.
Isn't he from like Austria?
Ish. Yeah, he's from Austria, but it's right next door. It's like India and Ohio.
Right. I could do more So What commentary. How's that?
It was just before midnight on November 19th that Chancellor Angela Merkel's dream of a so-called Jamaican coalition collapsed. The political constellation consisting of the conservative union parties. Sometimes I have a hard time even speaking in English, by the way, and just my own accent. The business-friendly Free Democrats and the pro-environment Greens, whose colors together reflect those of the Caribbean country's flag, was not to be.
That kind of sounds French.
Kind of the color of mud. Christian Lindner, the FDP leader, stood up from the negotiating table in the Parliamentary Association building and declared that his party had had enough.
So French. I think that's French.
Don't you know? Every European accent has words that kind of mesh together.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding you.
Right. But it's enjoyable. Keep going.
All right. I'm just trying. Why can't you?
It's good.
Here's the thing. A lot of French articles aren't written in English. It's hard for us to cover the French. The French accent's a little bit easier. It is. It definitely
Say what? Where are you at right here? Is that where you're at?
They've had enough. The FDP could not support policies that they didn't believe in. Outside.
No.
Linder said a few words from the microphones and vanished into the night. Disappointed and aghast, the Chancellor was left with the negotiations from her own Christian Democratic Union, its Bavarian sister, the CSU, and the Greens. Merkel thought she had almost secured her first. It's kind of go from the throat sometimes.
Guttural a little bit.
Her fourth term in office, had believed that new Jamaican coalition was possible. I know.
No, that was so French. Disappointed.
There you
and
go.
Aghast.
Then why don't you do it?
With the negotiations from her own Christian Democratic Union.
That was good. There's so much, that's why I told you.
Yeah. The Bavarian sister, I can't. I'm sorry.
That was good.
Someone just needs to come on our show and just actually read these.
So Germany is changing.
Yeah.
In 2017, Merkel failed to achieve what she had managed 3 times before, presenting a new cabinet a few weeks after the election and a sheaf of papers bearing the title Coalition Agreement. The new distribution of power in the Bundestag had left her with much less room to maneuver after the right-wing populist Alternative for Germany, the AfD, entered parliament for the first time, securing 12.6% of the vote. The CDU, in turn, lost so much support that the only way it could form a dual alliance was with the Social Democrats, the SPD. One reason for the CDU's disappointing election result was Merkel's controversial refugee policy, which had led to a rift in her Bavarian sister party. Now, here's the thing. You got to put 2 and 2 together. People don't want to see people raped.
Right.
You let in the people who rape people.
Yeah.
They don't want you around no more. It's that simple.
Y'all got to go home.
Okay? Jowl lady, time to leave. Okay? Take your cow bag, go somewhere else.
Wow.
Y'all dried up. Ain't got no milk left. Just go home.
Okay.
All right. Never before had the chancellor, and then you know what? Something like that, they would get me banned in Germany for saying just making fun of Merkel.
While I can, the Forging Freedom channel is here, so if you guys can take a moment and go and subscribe to their channel. Hi, Jasper. She agrees.
She agrees. Never before had the chancellor been heckled on the campaign trail with shouts of "Get lost" and "Merkel must go."
There you go.
Thank you.
That was good.
Now she had gambled on the Jamaican alliance in vain. Once again, the prospect of forming a government was wide open. Germans are seen as having staying power in politics too. Helmut Kohl, which is actually a very German name, like it's really popular. Like I know a Helmut. Like,
well, you know what?
Like I asked the person, like, is that really your name?
Hang on though, because I don't mind. They're never gonna find out.
No, don't say it. Let her hold it back.
I didn't want to pet sit for him. That's it.
Okay.
The guy's name was Helmet. We decided it wasn't gonna work out.
Nope. You needed a real helmet. Who died last year, was chancellor for 16 years. Angela Merkel has been in office since 2005. How do you say 2005? I like
2005.
These 2000s.
Because you can't say 25.
I know.
It's 2005. It's 2000
anyway,
until you get to the
ain't got
double
no
digits.
government yet going into 2018. Okay, and things aren't looking too bright because people just don't like her. Even the lefty people don't like her.
Right.
Even her friends don't like her. You know you're in trouble when your friends don't like you.
And your mama doesn't like you either.
And your mama don't like you. Nobody likes you. Nobody likes you. Go home.
Go home.
Go home. Now, she's obviously funded by George Soros, and George Soros likes her, so. All right, good news. Because we get our politicians of the year, Viktor Orban and Beata Szydło. Now, see, that's another Szydło. That you can't sound that. You can't sound that stuff out, man.
I don't know. The Beata, you kind of can.
Yeah,
Beata Szydło.
Did you tell them yesterday that we
did?
Did they send one?
No, not yet. I keep checking.
Okay. If they haven't sent it yet, maybe we'll do it again. Maybe we'll go live tonight or something.
We'll see.
Or tomorrow did for New Year's Day, right?
And I still don't know the name of the channel because it's in Polish. I need to ask Ivan. Like, Ivan, what is the actual name of the channel that we can translate
right
into English to let our viewers know what this channel is?
We've got a viewer named Ivan, who's Polish,
right?
Who actually knows the pastor of the TV show, one of the TV shows that we covered. They did a Thanksgiving, Happy Thanksgiving to Americans.
Do you remember when we showed that?
We had a lot of Polish viewers.
So we got to talk to the pastor and his 2 daughters and Ivan yesterday.
I love them. They are adorable.
Skype. They are fantastic. And they are going to do a New Year's greeting for America.
In English.
And send it to us so that we can show it to you guys.
So we're really excited. It's just for you guys.
Right.
And hopefully sometime in the future we'll be able to work out some... we had
interviews
some issues. We had some little... we had some audio
issues.
They could hear us. Which is great for us.
So after we hang up with them, then we decided Leah and I decided that we were going to learn some Polish.
I forget how the first part goes.
I'm just gonna have to play it. Hang on.
I know the second part, so you know that I do know part of it.
Hang on, wait. Okay, I have to put my earphones in.
Nowego roku.
No.
Yeah, Nowego roku.
Szczęśliwego Nowego Roku.
Oh, you're gonna do it without them hearing it?
No, now you pull my ear out.
I want to hear it too.
You can play it again.
Okay, play it again.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Szczęśliwego Nowego Roku.
I can't hear that.
Okay, now the way we learned it. Oh, you can't hear it over there. Szczęśliwego Nowego Roku. And we worked on that yesterday.
Nowego roku.
And then forgot it
Happy
that
New
fast.
Year in Polish.
But there were a lot of other words that we tried to learn.
Szczęśliwego
Right.
Nowego roku.
Right. And it's hard. Polish is difficult. Very much so. It hurt my brain, but we just tried repeating and repeating. And it didn't stick. But we want to try.
I was able to really pick up on Italian. I learned Italian. I've since lost a bunch of it, but I was able to
Okay, so Jacques Sass has pronounced it here for us. Szczęśliwego Nowego Roku. That's the pronunciation.
Isn't that pretty good?
Szczęśliwego Nowego Roku. Now, we were going to do it just like as a surprise. Like, look, we know this. We're so great.
We couldn't hit that
and it just couldn't.
part.
No, we tried. All right, we are all Polish now, says the Forging Freedom channel. Yes, we're all Polskis.
So here, I love this picture here. Male Politician of the Year, Viktor Orban.
I think we all want to be like that.
He gave a wonderful Christmas address, and I'm gonna try to bring it up so I can read some of it to you. Viktor Orban is a man of the people. In an interview earlier this month, he said it is his duty to defend his country and its citizens. My duty is to execute their decision, to fight for them, to fight for the country, and defend them. But Orban's influence goes much further than his own country. By constructing a border fence, Orban closed an important migrant route into Europe and reduced illegal immigration in 2017 by 99.7%. That's really good.
Yeah.
You know, that's like an A+. Yeah. Seriously. Orban and his government showed Europeans that borders work and illegal immigration can actually be stopped. Like Japan, China, and a lot of African countries, it's really great for Japan. They have an ocean. In China, people don't really want to get in there, so not a problem for them. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at my own joke. Like China, Japan, and a lot of African countries, Orban wants to keep Hungary the way it is. And he said, this at the start of this month, Hungary should learn from the errors of the West. Mixing cultures will not lead to a higher quality of life, but to a lower one. Europe's immune system is being deliberately weakened. They want us to stop being who we are. They want us to become those who we don't want to be. They want us to mix with people from another world and to change in order to make it trouble-free. In the light of Christmas candles, we can clearly see the attacks against Christian culture and the attempts to dissolve Europe. They want to take away our own life and change it into something that is not our life. Now, what's really important here is that you don't see it as racist. And when you get lost in translation when you say we don't want to mix cultures, because America, we are just American. We are a hodgepodge. We are melting pot of many different cultures. However, our founding documents is a glue.
Yeah.
Right? And the culture in the West is Christian, based on Christian principles. And what are these principles? Love your neighbor as yourself.
Right.
Do good to those who despitefully use you and persecute you. The Christmas and Easter.
It's mostly just caring and giving. I think that it's like Jesus said, the whole of the law can be summed up in these two things. Love the Lord your God with all your heart. But, I mean, really love your neighbor as yourself. Because in that, you will be giving to people. And you will
working 100 years to try and stop you saying that.
People have been working for 100 years to try to stop you from saying that.
Communists. Communists and evil people, atheists and Satanists, they don't like, it's so much easier when you just take it down to a battle of good and evil. Okay, and that's what Poland has done.
Right.
They have stripped away everything else.
Right.
Right, and that's what they...
We got a bravo for our pronunciation of it.
Yay!
From another poll.
Thank you! Shishliwego nowego roku. Every time I say it, I think to myself, am I saying it right?
So Kenny says, not to bring this down, but my friend was murdered by a Polish immigrant druggie who was here because of open borders, and that's why we need checks. Here's the thing. That kind of goes hand in hand with every culture, unfortunately. You're going to have drug addicts that are just crazed. And we could deal, and that's the difference, because I don't know who this Polish person was.
There is regular crime, unfortunately.
And that's where that would fall under.
And then there is an influx of
the Islamic
bashing culture crime.
Exactly. And I would just put that under the... It's awful.
You're always going to have bad people.
Under the regular crime.
You are always going to have bad people.
And that's bad enough, which is why we can't have this other stuff, because we have to be able to deal with the regular crazies.
I'm going to give a good example. Okay, so this is unrelated to what we're talking about, but hopefully maybe you can understand this. In the newspaper today... There was a politician locally who wants to change Ohio laws on child support. And where am I going with this? Well, they want to change Ohio laws for child support for many different reasons. One, because a lot of men are poor and aren't paying the child support.
Right.
And a lot of these poor dads have multiple children with multiple women.
Yeah.
And so they're like one of the rules, they want to make sure that every child, not just the first child, gets the largest sum of the money, right? And so that, like, when you have two kids, like, so we're from a divorced family,
right?
Your first kid gets a certain amount, and the second kid gets a lesser amount.
Okay.
And it's usually because as in normal circumstances, a family splits. And the children are all in the same household. So, yeah, you're not going to pay the same amount for the second and third kid.
Yeah.
Because they're all, going to, usually to live with the mother.
Right.
Right? They want to change the rules so that whoever is receiving child support has to take care of health care. Which is ridiculous, in my opinion, because it's normally the mom who takes the kids. And usually moms don't have the jobs that provide health care. And so we are common sense people. So like in the 80s, when people divorced, dads made money.
And moms got alimony.
And moms were stay at home. And so something tragic happened.
Right.
To split that family.
Yeah.
Like ours. Our dad was an abusive alcoholic.
Right.
You don't want that to happen. But kids need to be taken care of in those circumstances. In those kind of extenuating circumstances,
right?
When a family is just burst in half and it's just awful
and it shouldn't be a common everyday occurrence,
right? But now in 2017, you've got baby daddies, and you have fathers who have children, with 5 different wives,
right?
And you've got these moms who are having to live off the government because they've got 5 different baby daddies and 5 different dads, and you have all these broken families. So what I'm saying is that you have systems in place for just in case. It's like the safety net of a tightrope.
Right.
Right? A tightrope walker doesn't plan on falling off the tightrope.
Yeah.
But you need a different profession if you're always falling off the rope. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because that tightrope, your little net at the bottom, it might not always work every time.
Right.
And it doesn't work all the time.
Right.
So what I'm saying is that, like, when it comes to crime, you're going to have some average crime, and we should have a net in place for crime, because people are going to have criminals.
Sure.
Then you have 500 people trying to walk across that tightrope. And that net isn't going to work anymore.
Right.
And that's what you have with the influx of these migrants.
Correct. Good example, now that we've been around that.
Sorry, because that was really on my mind, because I really feel for single moms, and I really feel for broken families, and now we have stepdaddies and stepmommies, and twice, that's my cousins, uncles, brothers, sisters, boyfriends, nephews, live-in brother. It's just so weird. It's just like, okay, divorce is bad, but let's keep it right here. Okay, bad thing happened. One divorce.
And now we have this, everybody's sleeping around, which is why the promiscuity is why we have this problem that you're speaking of.
Right.
In schools, they're not taught that, we can't just teach children to abstain.
Right.
Why? Because they won't. But they did before.
So you want to live in this, you want to live right here where if a woman gets pregnant outside of wedlock, You bring her in, you love her, and she feels horrible, and something bad happened there.
And there's nothing wrong with, in my humble opinion, with societal shaming. Not to the point of being like evil, because that's not the word I want. Shaming is not the right word. But it is something that should be like, oh, that's really bad. And instead we have, well, don't make anybody feel bad for sleeping outside of marriage. You know what I mean? Like, rape victims, totally different. But what I'm saying, as a society, we used to say, you know what? If you got pregnant out of wedlock, then everybody knew you shouldn't have been doing what you were doing that gets one pregnant.
And actually you should get really mad at the dude.
Exactly.
The dude who did a bad deed. And so you want to live here, and you want to bring that woman in, and you want to care for her, you want to protect her, you want to say, okay, this was bad that this happened.
Right, because any man, and we're totally anti-feminist as far as this is concerned, any man that would sleep with a girl outside of wedlock, in my opinion, is held to the higher responsibility in that case. People are going to get mad at me, but I have to tell you, the dude is the dude. That's how it is. The buck stops with you. A man should marry a woman before he sleeps with her. That's the man thing to do.
Because children are going to result.
And it's your responsibility as the man to provide for those children and the woman. Sorry. You don't like it, don't watch Resistance Chicks. So We Are Borg says, my dad had his work truck totaled in an accident by an illegal with no insurance. Police did nothing. 3 weeks later, the same illegal ran into and killed a local anchor man riding his motorcycle. Enough.
Are you kidding me?
There you go.
Are you kidding me?
Right.
That sounds like made up, because it sounds so awful.
We Are Borg says, my dad is fine, but the anchorman died. It changed my whole idea of illegals. Not the illegals, but the law enforcement allowing it and not protecting U.S. citizens.
And that's the thing. Once Trump started to push down, and once if the nation would just say, listen, if you're here illegally, you're going to be deported. Yeah. You don't even need a wall.
Right.
Because people are going to just not be incentivized to come over.
Right.
All right. So, a female politician of the year, Betta Shidewell.
You got it.
It was probably the European quote of the year after the Manchester terror attack with several teen victims. The then Polish Prime Minister Beata Szydło reacted, "Where are you headed, Europe? Rise from your knees and from your lethargy, or you will be crying over your children every day."
Wow.
These were words that reflected the thoughts of millions of Europeans. Where are we going when we can't even protect our own children anymore? What are we doing? We must wake up, rise from our knees, or nothing will change and the horrors will repeat themselves. Unfortunately, Mrs. Szydło was replaced as Prime Minister of Poland, but that doesn't change what she meant for us Europeans. That's an article, obviously. She kept her people safe and showed you that you don't have to bow to EU pressure. She said, "We will never allow anyone to blackmail us. We will never give in to political correctness." And so these are our top 2 European politicians of the year. I'd like to give
Marine Le Pen
and Geert Wilders. I want to put them right up there because they didn't have the backing and support in their countries that Viktor Orban and Beata Szydło have. And I put that in the fact that Hungary and Poland have really done tremendous work to throw off communism and embrace God and Christianity.
Exactly.
Whereas the Netherlands and France are very happy in their socialist, communist type world that they live in, anti-God. I mean, France. I mean, their whole political revolution was very atheistic. Very bloody, right? They have a horrible past as well. They need to turn to Jesus, and so does the Netherlands and Holland. So we do want to remember in Europe, as our European coverage, that 2017 is actually the year that the Europe really lost all of Europe, the European continent. No, that Europeans lost their free speech. Especially in Germany. I would give second place to the UK.
Yep.
France actually gives you a little bit more leeway in your freedom of speech. Just the Muslims will come and kill you there. So so many sites. Like Germany takes the cake.
Yeah.
Because there are sites that you can't click on. I've heard of people saying that they were in Germany and they couldn't open things.
Yeah.
There's websites that just won't open. And the UK has banned people like Pamela Geller, and
I
the guy from
don't
Jihad
understand
Watch.
this because it's not like
You can ban a person for just what?
I could, in all honesty, I could understand if there was someone out there that
They
was
can't ban
constantly
Milo. Milo's British. Isn't he?
tweeting for an uprising of people to go and kill a certain sect of people. Okay, I think I would allow a government censorship of that. And you know what it kind of reminds me
Inciting
of?
violence. Yeah.
Muslims, Islam. They have imams that put out videos to incite the killing of infidels, and those videos are not censored in the same countries like the UK, where Pamela Geller can't, you can't access her. It's a complete hypocrisy.
And some people were calling for Franklin Graham to not be allowed in. So, in 2017 was a year in which an essential aspect of European culture disappeared, the freedom of the press. Of course, things started earlier with several journalists and reporters already needing protection against religious fanatics, for example, but active forms of state-controlled censorship were extremely rare. This changed in Germany. Since the 1st of October, when a new censorship law in Germany became effective, the new law requires Facebook, Twitter, and other social media platforms to censor the content of its users according to German law. Germany is Europe's most populous country, and the law has large consequences for a news channel like The Voice of Europe. This week, Voice of Europe received 2 emails that some of their tweets had been censored in Germany. One tweet was a public quote of a Russian EU ambassador on Twitter. A public quote from a Russian EU ambassador. See, this is what we call rewriting history and rewriting the narrative. You have to be able to tell the facts on the ground. You have to be able to quote politicians.
But it's much
even if
easier.
you don't like what Kim Jong-un says,
You should be able to quote what
he's saying.
And that's the thing, but it's much easier to rewrite the history now, they've discovered, than go back and actually scratch out the history books.
Right.
So let's just do it now.
Right.
Don't let it get to the people.
Right.
So that we don't have to rewrite the history books. They'll just write themselves because no one knew that this ever happened or that was ever said.
So, the migrant crisis is a time bomb and will destroy Europe's high living standards. That is a quote from a Russian EU ambassador. So that was censored. The tweet was labeled as hate speech and withheld in Germany. According to our email, if Germany is censoring quotes from ambassadors and politicians, it can censor anything, and that is very worrying. But we also had our troubles with Sweden and France. We have a look at this article, for example. This active form of government censorship shows us that Europe has lost something. This article right here, I'm going to click on. Germany censoring tweet about Polish Muslim. Stop. Let's see. Poland will not accept Muslim migrants despite the promise made by the previous Polish government. And it looks like this particular tweet, this is the tweet: German users were not allowed to see Mohammed not welcome. Poland will not accept refugees from Muslim countries, Deputy Foreign Minister. So the tweet was not allowed, even though it was showing what is happening in Poland. See, even if
you don't agree with what's happening, you have to be able to report on it happening. Unless there's like literally somebody getting blown up and their body parts are flying, then somehow you censor the video or whatever. Like, I get that. But to actually censor what is happening is to keep truth from your people. And this is communism.
This tweet about killings in Europe. Immigrants have killed 344 and injured 1,706 in Europe since 2014.
I'm guessing that the voices of Europe get censored. Their poor voices.
France shut down this link about sex offenders in Austria. 40% of sex offenders are migrants, especially Afghans, are dangerous. And that was censored. Benjamin Franklin says, whoever would overthrow the liberty of the nation must begin by subduing the freeness of speech. I love that they quote our Benny baby.
Yeah.
And I guess this particular film, the shocking Islamization of London, go to parts of Paris, Berlin, or Brussels, and you'll see the same. And so basically, this was censored. Just a video walking through showing the Islamization of London, the Islamization of like all these. Yeah,
I'm not coming.
So
no, I really want to come, but we don't have to go to London when we come. we're going to go other places.
London Bridge is
so the Forging Freedom channel says, if you guys want to follow what is happening with radical Islam in Sweden, follow Peter Sweden on Twitter. It's much worse than you think. We talk about Peter Sweden a lot. He is really doing amazing work, but I wanted to put that out there as kind of a refresher for you guys that may not have heard of Peter Sweden. He's awesome.
He's
a Swede. His last name is not Sweden. He's a Swede. And he puts it out there. He's unashamed.
Right, exactly. So in 2018, Voice of Europe says that they will keep reporting as they did in 2017, but Europe became a place of politicians who use censorship as a tool for their problems, especially in Sweden. That tendency is clearly alive, but Germany and France are following at light speed. In 2018, we hope to keep on reporting as we did with verified claims and a focus on the truth. It is our opinion only the truth can be the start of the solution for the problems our continent faces, and they wish you the best for 2018.
So I was actually going to reply to Sean, but I'll just say it. He says, Michelle, it's not all like that in the UK, London, and whatnot. If you come over, we will show you the real England. So yes, we plan when we do come, and Lord willing, we will get there. We'll just come and visit you guys, our viewers, and hopefully we can avoid. And hopefully by then, there will have been some changes, and it's going to get better and not worse. We can always pray. I want you guys to be hopeful in 2018.
It's going to get better, but sometimes things have to get worse before they get better. But things are getting better. The more you get the truth out there, just keep red pilling your neighbors. Do it in love. Do it in the love of Christ. The more you win people over to Jesus, the more that these problems will heal.
Right.
God heals them. Christ heals them. The message of Jesus Christ heals. Sets people free. These Muslims need to come to know Jesus. They can come to know Jesus. And I mean that in the best way. I don't mean you can't be Muslim. I literally mean that if you really come... the Muslims who I know, I've seen on Twitter, I've seen on Facebook, I've seen on YouTube, the Muslims who've come to know Jesus, every single one of them said, I had hatred in my heart, I had anger in my heart, I had bitterness in my heart, and Jesus took that away. The only reason that Muslims are a danger to society is because the Quran teaches hatred and anger. Unfortunately, I don't mean to offend people, and there are parts of the Quran.
Tiptoe around here.
Well, I have to put that in case somebody's gonna ever censor my video or something.
Well, whatever.
Yeah. So, anyways, it says I want to bring this up. The German Parliament suggests the alternative to the United States of Europe, and the current head of the Germany's Parliament opposed calls for reshaping the European Union into the so-called United States of Europe, claiming that the Union should instead focus its efforts on European integration. Wolfgang Schäuble, a member of the German Christian Democratic Union Party and president of Bundestag, took a dim view of Social Democrats leader Martin Schulz's call to transform the EU into a new entity with its own constitution, claiming that Europe requires a different approach. He says, to say that one wants to create a United States of Europe within 5 years and that those states that don't go along with it will be thrown out seems to be a bit short-sighted, to put it politely. Instead, he argued the EU should focus on European integration, claiming that while Europe does need to become stronger, this goal should be achieved via different methods. He says they are not geared toward an institutional restructuring of the EU, but rather an attempt to move forward without having to change the EU treaty. And I want to know what this EU integration is. Does that mean France isn't France, Germany isn't Germany, Holland isn't Holland? Where we not going to ride bikes and use canals anymore in Holland? I mean, what's going on?
I think really
they're not going to eat pasta anymore, like pasta all over Europe. I mean, what are you saying when you say European integration?
I think that with the whole United States of Europe, it's a rebranding because they are sensing that their ship is sinking.
Absolutely.
Fast. And they're trying to keep alive. It's the European Union was birthed out of World War II and communism, and a lot of the it was kind of like cut the head off the snake, but they didn't actually get the head. I think they thought that Hitler was the head, but it really wasn't. It was the globalists, and they just, you know what, we'll just go this other avenue, and they created the European Union. Now the European Union is going down. Okay, we'll create the United States of Europe. It's always going to be something else, and unfortunately, it's going to get bigger and worse as it keeps morphing into something else.
But it's people are waking up, so I'm really excited.
I think this is a last ditch effort.
I wanted to just bring up a few kind of negative things. There are 20,000 potential pedophiles in the UK, as many as terrorist suspects, police chief warns. This is from RT. More than 20,000 British men are interested in sexually abusing children. UK's national police chief in charge of child protection has said, having compared the data to the number of suspects posing a terrorist threat. Some 4,000 men from the UK have been identified as active users of a single online chat room monitored by investigators in 2017. The National Police Chiefs Council led on child protection. However, there are much more men interested in sexually abusing children, the police official warned. Having put the number of such potential offenders over 20,000, there is a roughly equal number of current and former terrorist suspects, he pointed out. Some 72,000 referrals of online child sexual abuse imagery were received by the National Crime Agency in the first 11 months of 2017. Bailey revealed he suggested that children at schools should be warned of the dangers of sexual abuse in the same manner they are advised on how to react if caught up in a terrorist attack. We need the same warnings about sexual abuse in schools in the same way as we do for terrorism. He added that a child from any family is a potential victim for pedophiles, saying that the threat does not recognize social status. Even the very caring and educated parents who think they are internet savvy may have their children targeted by predators.
I don't know. I mean, are they including the fact that there are a lot of Muslims that are pedophiles?
I don't know, because
in that number, it seems kind of low.
There's pedophilia is
I
all
mean,
over
seriously,
the world.
does it not count?
I mean, there's pedophiles all over the place. There's tons in America, man. They're not Muslims.
But I'm saying it should. I think the number should be higher.
Woman who requested female nurse for the NHS for an intimate procedure summoned by obviously male transsexuals. She actually left and did not have the procedure. So, a woman who requested a female nurse for an intimate procedure was given an obviously male member of the staff with stubble and tattoos, who claimed to be transsexual.
Oh, dang.
The NHS patient said she was embarrassed and distressed when summoned by a nurse with an obviously male appearance, close cropped hair, a male facial appearance and voice, large number of tattoos, and a facial stubble to carry out a cervical smear.
No.
When she pointed out that she thought this was a mistake, the nurse told her off. My gender is not male. I am a transsexual.
Oh my god.
Speaking after the examination, which she ultimately decided to abandon, the patient said, "It was weird where somebody says to you, my gender is not male, and you think, well, what does that even mean? You are clearly a man." A former letter of complaint, she objected that people who are not comfortable about this are presented as bigots, and this is kind of how I was made to feel about it. The incident raises concerns about the governing Tory party's proposed Gender Recognition Act, spearheaded by lesbian Education Secretary Justine Greening, which seeks to demedicalize the gender transition process and allow men to legally change gender with a simple self-declaration.
And here is the thing. I have a massive problem. I had not considered this being an issue because as a little girl, there were times when I wanted a female nurse.
Yeah.
And could you imagine, let's just say this wasn't a woman. Let's set that aside. What if a little girl had said, I want a female nurse, and they send in the transgender? Now, I was laughing out loud. Please, you guys, don't take offense to this stuff because it really doesn't bother me. It cracks me up. Dale Jones says, my sister thinks that the tall girl is a man. That's me. But I said she isn't. I had read that and literally laughed. And then spit. And then you came with that. Here's the difference. I'm going to be honest. I literally have zero self-confidence issues in this area at all. I have excellent bone structure. Swedish, can't be helped. And so if I was a nurse and someone asked for a female nurse and I walk in, pretty sure no one's going to have an issue with me walking into the room. Tattoos and stubble. I mean, come on. At least get a transsexual that looks like a female or something like that. I mean, seriously.
And this is the thing with
this is horrible. This should be illegal. The hospital should be fined. I'm serious. If the woman asks for a female nurse, she should get a female nurse. And it almost, you know what it strikes of? That they did it on purpose.
Well, absolutely.
To make a big deal. They could have sent in any other female. How many transsexual female whatever nurses are at the NHS that they could have sent in?
Okay, but you know what?
They did it to make a stink.
Yeah, and I'm stuck. This is another thing with this whole gender transitioning thing. The fact that beautiful women are now, people are like, that's their big thing, is calling them trannies now. because they are strong and they have great bone structure.
Right.
Men are now wanting this attention.
Yeah.
And it's actually repulsive and disgusting that you have these transsexuals all over the place. Men aren't... Dude looks like a lady. Okay? The dude looks like a lady. There's a problem with this whole transvestite, transsexual, cross-dressing thing.
No, but it used to just be transvestites, and everybody knew.
You could always tell when RuPaul came in the room.
And now, exactly.
Dude looks like a lady.
I mean, seriously, I feel like this had to have been an agenda. They wanted this to come out.
Right.
They were making an example of this woman because she shouldn't, quote unquote, this is not what I'm saying, shouldn't have asked for a female nurse. You should just accept what nurse you get or whatever. I mean, the whole thing just strikes of they wanted this to be, they knew that if a woman asked for a female nurse, the trans comes in, and the tranny comes in, whatever, I can say tranny, it's my show, and she notices that this is a man, she's going to make a stink.
This says, the NHS says who manages the clinic where this particular incident took place conceded that its nurse had self-identified as a woman, but that they had not been employed on that basis. You're hired as a dude. You walk in with a 5 o'clock shadow. You say, I'm ready to do cervical smears, baby.
Oh,
bring them
on.
on.
No, you didn't.
I'm a transsexual.
No, you did not.
Bring it on. I'll do them all. Pap
Wow.
smears. Let's do it all, baby.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is the problem with this whole... And California, okay, there's new laws coming out in 2018. I was just reading them. Legalization of recreational pot in California.
Okay.
And California, in another step of liberal insanity, has allowed people to be gender neutral on their driver's license.
But you can't do that.
Dude looks like a lady.
Oh my gosh. You know, I did notice on my Facebook today, I was in my settings and I had not seen this. I almost wish I could take a screenshot of this, but it says preferred pronoun. Mine is, it just picks this for me, female, and then it puts, quote, I wish her a happy birthday. I guess that's the example.
How do you know? Did you enter that in?
Well, no, and that's the thing. It chose my preferred pronoun because when I signed up for Facebook, before it went insane, it asked me if I was a male or a female.
Arrest these people.
Arrest these people.
Facebook has preferred pronouns now.
It says that.
What all do you get to choose from?
Edit.
Neutral.
Male. Okay.
So there's no
It's just,
him,
okay.
her,
It's
Z, there.
female, male, or neutral. Wish them a happy birthday.
Them.
We're gonna, you know what? We're gonna keep it at female.
And this is the last little story of the day. Muslim caregiver refuses to buy an elderly woman a ham, Christmas ham, due to religious reasons. So she's a caregiver for in Sweden. So I bring out my Swedish accent. Hello, we go to Sweden.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So
Yeah.
the Muslim caregiver in Sweden has to cause a controversy after she refused to purchase a Christmas ham for one of her company's clients, saying that it violated her religious beliefs. So I guess that she was going shopping for the elderly woman. And on the list it said, buy me Christmas ham. Here's the money, buy me Christmas ham. And she's like, I take the money, no Christmas ham. Nope.
So hang on though. My question is, what about Muslims that work in the grocery store? If they have to ring out a ham, do they step to the
out
side?
the hot dogs. No the bacon. No the ham. No hot dogs. No hot dogs. What about alcohol?
So I'm guessing Muslims don't work at the vet.
Oxymoron. Muslim veterinarian.
Okay. All right. So what happened?
So,
the incident sparked a debate in the community?
Yes, a woman wanted a Christmas ham. Yes. Not a word was said about the discrimination the elderly woman suffered when she was refused to get the food purchase that she wanted. The story was picked up in the Swedish national newspaper Expression.
I'm surprised that they actually are allowed to eat pork in Sweden anymore, as much as they've gone.
Which argued that Sweden should encourage secular values. And so this is the latest in the cultural
Sondhar
class.
says something really good about the trans stuff. Men do not always understand women issues. A lot of women feel that way. Just because you want to be one does not necessarily mean you understand women. True. I am one, and I know we cray cray. Just saying. Very irrational and crazy at times. Just saying. I don't think that men will ever. No, I don't care how woman you feel. If you're a man, you'll never get it. All right, finish the thing.
That's it. That's it.
That's the end of that? All right, so do you have any other news?
No.
Okay, so we're going to do our little mail call here. Starting with our Amerikanski, Eric Buskey. He is the one that got us introduced to this adorable young lady, Grace Vanderwall. I never get her name. It's Vanderwall. And she won, it was America's Got Talent, right?
I think so.
And her music is absolutely beautiful. And I didn't even know that she had a new album that came out. So he sent Leah and I both a CD and a signed sleeve. So thank you very much for that, Eric. That is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful, lovely Christmas present. So you guys can go back and watch our video where we opened up and sang some of her songs or listen to her sing them. Was really, really fun.
She's adorable young
She
lady.
is an absolute doll. Okay, so the next card right here. Look at
The
this.
square card from the UK.
From the UK. But come on. I mean, seriously. I don't think you can go wrong with that.
This is the best card, dude. That is absolutely adorable. Where did they get those rubber slipper?
I don't know. I don't know. My mom was like, it looks like
Your hands
a
are cold.
cutie.
Why are your hands so cold?
I
My
don't
hands
know.
are so hot.
But see, she's working
warm.
on touching.
Because you're cold.
Okay, but let me read the card. This is such a cute card. I love this card.
It's like a vampire or something.
Now I'm a male vampire. To Leah and Michelle, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. David, a UK viewer. There's no last name, so I can show
She
the
did
lovely
not read
handwriting.
it in proper accent.
Oh, I'm so sorry. What was I thinking?
I don't know.
Dash it all. Trying again. Since it's short. To Leah and Michelle, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. David, a UK viewer. Now, the next card is going to come with a video.
Another square card.
Another beautiful square card. Now, wait till you... Wait.
Do the UK only sell square cards?
Now, I can't do... This is from Worth a Look, who is in the chat right now.
Justin, and I'm sorry.
The accent is Manchester.
I tweeted out to you, and I spelled your name with an I. It's with a Y. I know it's with a Y.
I can't do his accent, the Manchester accent, and he actually speaks extraordinarily fast as well. To Michelle and Leah and Mom, Merry Christmas to you. I can't. Wait till you hear it in a minute and you'll know I just butchered it. To you all, and hope you have an amazing day and a great 2018. All the best, Justin. I'm just going to go with the actual UK accent that I'm good at because I can't do Manchester. To the Resistance Chicks, how's things going? I thought I'd write a letter and along with the card just to say a massive thank you for showing the truth to the world. It's very exciting to see you both being on the Polish national news and then InfoWars shows that hard work pays off. So I say, well done. You both should be proud. I also thank you for your friendship, especially Michelle, who shares what she is about to eat, what movies they are watching, to clearing pig poo.
And chasing
Up and
chickens.
chasing chickens. Merry Christmas, my American sisters. Keep spreading the truth in this crazy world. We need less sheep and more people with their eyes and ears open. All the best, Justin. P.S. If you could read my writing, you did very well. Ha ha.
It was good. It was perfectly good.
It was beautiful handwriting. So now I got to pull this up because let me.
You didn't have it up?
I didn't have time to pull it up. Or do you want?
You're going to play it on yours, right?
Well, it's in an email. Hang on. There it is.
Oh,
Now,
so I have to...
I wonder if I can... Let me do this. Should only take a second. All right. Image 2586. I'm going to drop this. So hang on. We're going to go back
Look
to
at that hair!
Let me get rid of this. Delete. I'm really getting good at this. I'm going to add a media file. I am... Whoa. From downloads. You guys are patient. What did I say? 2586.
Yeah, there it is. There's Justin.
Here, no wait. Let me get earphones out because I want to listen to it.
Me
again,
too. Me 3. Me 4.
I love that you guys are patient enough with us. There they are. Just grab them. Right there.
All right.
Open.
Okay, guys,
Wait,
I can't
it's
sing.
upside
This is
down.
Michelle.
Ah!
And
I don't even
everyone
know how
else.
it
I've got
fixed that.
words. I apologise in advance.
Kidding?
No.
Just try.
Silent night,
Justin, dude.
holy night,
No idea how to fix that.
all is kind, all is bright, round young virgin mother and child, hold the infant so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace. He's sleep in heavenly peace. Bit deep that, Barry White.
No, it's good.
Silent night, holy night, Son of God, love's pure light, radiant beams from thy holy face, with the dawn of redeeming grace. Jesus, Lord, at thy birth. Jesus, Lord, at thy birth. I can't sing, I'm sorry about that, too deep, but Merry Christmas from me and the voice of James Brown. So Merry Christmas everyone, God bless, love you all, peace for the UK.
Look you well.
Okay, so that
Yes,
was
I loved
absolutely
it.
fantastic. Hang on though, because
You flip it around.
I can't flip it around, but what I am gonna do is show you guys, for those of you that don't get to see Justin very much, either on his Facebook or what have you, that is Justin and his adorable little niece.
So cute.
Let me see if I can add another one here. I'm sorry, I'm not that good at this. I'm
You
trying.
said I'm getting better.
I know. I thought I was getting better. There he is
It's okay.
again with his absolutely adorable little niece that just came to visit the other day. So thank you for that, Justin. I can't believe it was upside down. And thank you for the card. Now, also, because we have a mail call, I had written Dr. Charles to thank him for the pearls. So he wrote me back and he says, Dear Michelle, I had noticed that you did never wear a pearl necklace, so I assumed you did not have one in England. The wearing of a pearl necklace, I'm wearing it right now, is an indication that the wearer embraces conservative values. I love that. This is one of the reasons why I thought I would send you one. Michelle, I love it when you and Leah visit your pigs, show your viewers your pumpkins and the area around your house, or take a walk in the meadows nearby. It is true Americana. What about taking your viewers on a tour of the neighboring countryside? Good idea. We probably should do that. I think your non-American viewers would enjoy it. You know I have a biting affection for your country and for its institutions, which are now so sadly being destroyed. I am particularly fond of the American heartland and its people. Genuine, honest, helpful, hardworking, self-reliant, God-fearing people. I am very proud of our American people as well. They are very different from city folk. I remember most fondly my long sojourns on a large cattle ranch with real cowboys and cowgirls, all Annie Oakleys. In Nebraska, that was the first time in my life I wore jeans. I learnt that real cowboys wear Wranglers, not Levi's. A Stetson, cowboy boots, rode in a western saddle, roped cattle, or tried to rope cattle, and shouted yee-haw. It was all very different from England and very different from the Far East or East Asia, and I loved it. That was when I fell in love with you and with your country and its people. A love so unlike the sun because it has never set. Your voice, the voice of resistance, chicks, is the voice of that hot land of America. Keep it that way. I would love to spend the rest of my life there. That is unlikely to happen, though. I wish you, Leah, your mother, and Kansas a happy new year. May 2018 be a very good year for you all. Yours ever, Charles. So thank you very much for that. Thank you for that. And thank you for the pearls. So, Justin, I'm really sorry that we butchered your video by not. I had no idea it was going to upload upside down.
But it sounded
But didn't it
fantastic.
you have an for those of you that don't know, Justin is a rapper. He was also in hardcore like metal band, whatever. But he raps, and I think that it shows. For those of you that are wondering, I love rap music, but a lot of people say rap isn't music. Well, in order to rap and do the things that rappers do, you actually have to be able to sing in order to do it, which Justin showcased very, very well there. So thank you for, he actually sent it in time for our Christmas show, but I didn't get it until after.
Right. It's beautiful.
So,
I actually love it.
you know what?
Really
You'll just have to
enjoyed it.
send us more, and hopefully next time that it'll upload correctly. So do you want me to move this back? Mm-hmm. Okay, what are we going to sing?
Just one of my songs. We didn't practice again. I told Michelle, I said, it's like fingernails on a chalkboard when we come to the end. Patriot Alley loves for us to sing a song, especially on Sundays. But it hurts me to not have anything like practiced or ready, and I don't know. We just, we're just busy. This morning was very cold.
Church practices once a week.
That's true.
Is this enough? I could go back
no,
further
that's
if I need.
perfect. Thank you.
Thank you guys for your cards and your wonderful wishes to us for the new year.
We love them. It's so fun to go to the mailbox and to just kind of makes things real because
it brings you guys literally to us and makes us feel a part of you. So thank you.
Is there a pick in here or no?
There's always picks, man. They're a whole bowl of them.
Thank you very much. So this is just a song I had written. I don't really have a New Year's song. We'll probably end with Old Lang Syne.
I don't even know.
Well, then you can just listen. No, you know the song. I was sitting alone all by myself, packing up another dream, putting it on the shelf. The years went by, oh, way too fast. If there was a way, oh, I would go back. I'd stop the hurting and I'd stop the pain. If I could do it all over again, I'd make things right, oh, I'd make things sane. If I could do it all over again. Oh, 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 again. I would have a dad who cared more about me than his very next drink. I'd take away his keys. It'd be my sister, my brother, mom and dad and me. And we would be a loving, tight family. And I'd grow up in a house with a great big yard. And we bow our heads at dinner, giving thanks to the Lord. Giving thanks, oh, giving praise to his name. And there'd be no hurting and there'd be no pain. I'd make things right, oh, I'd make things sane. If I could do it all over again. Make things right, oh, I'd make things sane. But then hear a voice calling to me. Oh, a sweet, sweet voice now. Oh, God, I hear your voice. Oh, hear your voice
someone who can fulfill my dreams. Sew on a patch without any seams. Make my past the way I wish it had been, so I don't have to do it all over again. See the years went by, but my God's been kind. He's made it so I don't wanna rewind time. He stopped the hurting, taking away the pain, so I don't have to do it all over again. See, he's made things right, always made things sane, so I don't have to do it all over again. You could never go, I want to take you places high, God on high. For you are Lord, you are Christian, so I eat ham. Sorry, it
Really
reminded me at the end
wanted
of that.
to rhyme that song with ham.
I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. It's just we do this news and it messes with your head.
That's where you.
I know. We
did
did this whole segment on the Swedish grandma couldn't eat a ham. I'm a Christian now, and I can tell you why we eat ham. We eat ham, okay? Because Peter had a vision, right?
Yeah.
And it was with like all kind of things that the Jews weren't supposed to eat and touch anymore. And he said, "Rise, Peter, kill and eat." He said, "Not so, Lord. I have not touched anything unclean." Right? And of course, it was actually, he was supposed to go meet with Cornelius. And he was a Gentile. It was to bring the gospel to the Gentiles. And then Paul goes on to explain.
Right.
All right. We're not subject to the law.
Right.
Of washing and eating and things like that. Those were to separate the Jews.
And I was just listening to Acts today, and seriously, it was prophesied about Paul.
Joel prophesied in last day, the Holy Ghost will
Hang
come
on, let me
my
finish
way,
my sentence. We can sing that song
down
if you want.
on me.
It was prophesied that
Raining-
Paul was to be sent to
raining
the
down on
Gentiles, and that's a really big deal
Yep.
because he was a Pharisee of the Pharisees.
And Peter even said, "Yeah, you go, you go."
He was called to go to the Gentiles. And so, in my humble opinion, if you're a Christian and you
gotta
don't eat
humble.
pork, then you don't want the Gentiles to be grafted in. Just kidding.
But
it's
you know
kinda
what?
like that,
Actually,
a little
Paul
bit.
says, if you don't want to eat it, don't eat it.
Right.
If you want to eat it. It's fine.
Right.
He said, okay, so here's the thing. What was happening is these Jews were coming, and these Gentiles were getting saved. And the Jews are like, "You ain't circumcised." So they're like, "Brother, come over here. I got a knife for you."
Yeah.
And they're whacking people off, right?
And Paul's like, "Hang on, ho.
You are mutilating the flesh.
Right.
Okay, according to the law, this is what we're going to command the Gentiles. Don't eat foods that have been sacrificed to idols.
That's a big one.
And don't tell them not to sleep around. Tell them no fornication.
Right.
Don't have sex before you're married.
Right.
And then according to this law, now the 10 Commandments, and it
Those
goes
are kind
on.
of important.
We could do church another time. That was another song from Rhema days.
Joel prophesied in the last days the Holy Ghost would come my way. It's raining down on me. Yes, it's raining down on me. Yes, it's raining, can't you see? In the last days wherein the glory of the Lord descends, it's raining down on me. Oh yes, it's raining down on me. It's raining, can't you see? In the last days wherein the glory of the Lord descends, it's raining down on me. There we go. Okay, so I think that wraps up our UK show at 2 hours and 9 minutes. Thank you guys for being here. Happy New Year. Happy birthday to Hananiah, who is 16, a.k.a. Fat Boy.
Thank your parents for that name.
None of your children are fat, so I don't know how you can use that name, but if that's what you want to be called, then we will go with it. Nicknames
our
are
neighbor's
fine.
dog was named Fat Boy.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. It's strange.
We got a client who named named their cat Fat Lip.
Yeah, well, but it may be... So a couple of you have asked in the chat if we're going to be back here in 8 hours when the United States in Eastern Standard Time rings in the new year. I don't know. Probably not. We'll probably be in our PJs. We may even be asleep. I don't know. Probably not. We'll probably stay up to ring in the new year.
But we'll probably come tomorrow during New Year's Day sometime.
You think so?
Maybe. I don't know. What we got going on?
I don't know.
It's a slow day.
For old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind, should old
acquaintance before God, for old lang syne, for old lang syne, my friend, for old lang syne, we'll drink a cup of kindness, yeah, for old lang syne.
So,
Happy New Year!
and in Poland, Szeszlowego Nowego Roku. There you go.
In the UK, Happy New Year. I got that one
Happy
down.
New Year. G'day. Happy New Year. That's all I got. I don't know what it is in any of the other languages.
Anywhere,
guys.
anybody else from another country, go ahead and put your
Yeah,
Happy
go ahead
New
and
Year.
put your Happy New Year in the, we'll try to pronounce it. And if you don't speak it, just, if you know, or excuse me, if you're not from there and you know it, go ahead and put your Happy New Year.
What's it in Spanish?
Yeah, that should be the easiest one.
Nuevo. What is year in Spanish? Why don't I know?
I don't know.
See,
don't know.
this is what happens when you take these languages in high school. It's like you're ready to go down to Mexico and like run the show, and then 20 years
Because
later,
I could do it I would just go like for the Polish, I'd be like Happy New Year ski. In German, Happy New Year. In Italian, Happy New Year. That should count. Nobody's got any. Okay. So in German, it is. Oh, come on.
You're not gonna be able to pronounce that.
Frohes neues Jahr.
Mom should know that. She took some German.
Dang. You know what we're gonna do? Okay, here we go. A squirrel. Bona année tout le monde. That was close, right? Année. Bona année tout le monde. Feliz Ano Novo a todos.
I know Feliz Navidad.
Okay, worth a look. How do you know Russian?
Feliz Navidad.
No, that's not right. You just made that up. Stop it. I was born at night. I wasn't born last night. Actually, I was born at 11 in the afternoon.
Yeah, definitely Happy New Year's ski in Russian.
Well, that's Polish, but you could say
New Year's ski.
Okay,
New Year's ski.
Happy New Year's ski. Earlier, people were asking for for our famous Irish accent. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you.
There you go.
There you go.
All right, you're going into
Feliz
2018.
Navidad.
Going into 2018 here.
Happy New Year.
I hope
California.
that your
Happy New Year,
grass
dude.
is green and your cow's full of milk.
Swedish. Gott nytt år. Maybe. Night.
Gott nytt. Just try it with an accent. It might come out right.
Gott nytt år.
I bet there's like a little tab where you can do like Happy New Year in all the languages, and it would be a lot better.
Maybe if we go live tomorrow, we'll try again.
We're good at butchering animals, and we can butcher languages too. Just as easy.
So do a Doreen Tipton accent, girls. Well, Leah didn't. Leah listened to the whole thing in its entirety when it played on Christmas, and I just listened to it.
It's a little bit Irish.
It's
a
Scottish,
bit
I think.
Scottish. It's a little bit.
I don't know.
Freedom.
No, that's not.
That's my Scottish. It's my Braveheart Scottish.
I don't know.
Scottish is a little bit Irish.
We'll work
There's some
on
guttural into
Okay.
it, right?
Okay. We're really going to say goodnight now.
Good day. Good day. Actually, it's night probably.
I think that we are bored put it in Hebrew here, but I can't. Got nothing.
Dun, dun, na, 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 na,
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. How was that?
We're really good at this. Feliz Ano.
And I know it sounds like year. Anno is definitely year.
Ano.
Anno is year. I know that. I know that one.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Now we're just getting slap happy at this point. So, all you guys out there, stay away from women with hyphenated last names, says the Forging Freedom channel. What's that supposed to mean? What does that even mean? I don't know. Okay. Lisa says New Year's blessings to all. 2018 is going to be wonderful.
Is that Lisa Mesner?
Yeah. So before we exit, that's the final message of today. I really, in all honesty, believe that 2018, for some of you, you're entering into it shortly, is going to be fantastic.
I'm feeling it, y'all.
I'm really, really excited. It's been a whole year for Resistance Chicks. So this coming year, God is moving. Countries are changing. Big changes are happening. This is the most, in my humble opinion, one of the most epic times in history to be alive.
So mom in the background, we're talking to the Polish pastor yesterday. Yeah. And mom's like, Jesus is king, because Jesus is king of Poland. And they said, tell your mom, when I'm going to hang up, they're like, tell your mom. What did it say? Hello, blessings, or something like that.
Yeah, it was
hard to understand.
I don't know. But it was really fun talking with them. So
they're beautiful people. I just love them so much. They have a whole channel. I don't know if you can link to their channel. You're not going to understand any of it.
We could go subscribe to them to get their subscribers up. Happy birthday, Resistance Chicks. That's kind of neat. It's like a birthday.
Yeah.
Now,
one of those things we were trying to learn is Polish was happy birthday, and that was actually the
hardest one. Happy birthday in Polish was like I don't know, like 35. No, it was like 50 letters long. It was some ridiculousness. Oh my gosh! And so thank you guys again. Thanks to our moderators who were here: Maia, Gary, worth a look. Sooks was here for a while. I know we started out with Stacy, Rosa Sharon pastored Homestead. I'm trying to
say a prayer for everyone in the United States,
Leah,
for tomorrow morning and the next morning. It's going to be cold for everyone. -20, -30, -40, and for us, -6. Say prayer for our animals. Well, we have animals outside, and it's just brrr. Frosty the Snowman is
Redneck Survivalist says, may the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again. I should have that memorized, but I don't. I had to read it, but thank you for
Jill
that.
Jill Solomon has a greeting, too.
Why
does that remind me of? You take thy road and I'll take the low road, and we'll meet in
Scotland tomorrow. Hey, squirrel, it's warmed up here. It's -30.
Hey,
bring the animals inside. Sure. Several of the swine.
I made the suggestion last night. We nixed it.
Yeah, no, it's probably not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
All right, you guys. Good night. Sean, please tell Tracy that we wish her well, and hopefully she gets to come home first thing tomorrow, and we are praying for her.
Good things for Sean and Tracy this year.
Yes, absolutely. All right, you guys. Good night. God bless. Remember, it's not just a conspiracy theory.
If it's the truth.
Like, comment, subscribe. Now that every subscriber after this one will be over 10,000. Ring the bell for notifications so you know when we go live every time.
Find us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and drop us a line sometime.
P.O. Box 107, Milford, Ohio 45150.
And you guys are awesome.
Yes, you are. We love you. Oh, and leave your comments in the comment section after the video processes. Because there's like thousands of comments that go during the live chat. And we don't always get to see them. Leah doesn't get to see them, period.
No, I try to look at the end, and then sometimes, I miss them.
All right. Happy New Year. Bye, guys. See, you can sing your song.
I was cold.